Hey, coming at you again from the Eagle's Nest out here in rainy. The last couple of days we've been getting some lots of clouds, but it's been like humid as hell. Today actually rained a little bit. I had to cover up my old Jeep. And anyway, so tonight on the Eagle's Nest, we're going to be covering a range of different things. We're going to be covering the last couple of weeks, the stuff that happened in the Kavanaugh hearing and the confirmation hearing, things like that, all the crap that the Democrats have done and things like that. Well, then we're going to cover some Hollywood stuff as far as how Hollywood perceives the militia groups. As most of you know, I am in a militia, so we don't claim to be the general militia like a lot of other groups do, but we do a lot of things that the militia does. The only thing different is we don't go against police departments, things like that. We're not the crazy side of the militia. So shows, and this week Ryan's not here. Do Stuff has actually got his wedding anniversary going on tonight, so just make sure you say hi to Do Stuff. Tonight is the first night that we've done a full show in the studio. So I am running off Wi-Fi, so if my signal gets kind of weird, that's why. Just let me know. And I'm also on YouTube. And the stream's a little bit weak. I think we'll get through it. It seems like the phone that I'm using seems to be doing okay. It's not cutting out that I can tell. But hopefully everything's working like it's supposed to. It was interrupted and it's a bit grainy. It's not in the house, so I won't be able to get messages. Well, you can come out here. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So as most of you know, we've been kind of going through this whole thing with the last couple of weeks with the Kavanaugh hearings. Okay, so if you haven't followed that, I didn't follow it during her testimony, mainly because I just thought that was going to be a complete circus, and it was. From all the claims that she made, and literally she had to look at all her notes to be able to recollect what happened. And as most of you know, Saturday night they did Saturday Night Live and had Matt Damon on there posing as Brett. Of course, they didn't do anything of the woman. So, but they did it. She's supposed to be a psychologist. Supposedly, she doesn't have a license to practice psychology in California. That is. I don't know if that's honestly true. I honestly don't know, but I've seen a lot of different reports about it, and it's kind of up in the air on that. The one thing that the Democrats were requesting, and actually thanks to Flake, he lived up to his namesake once again, and Flake has flaked out an FBI investigation, which Senator Grassley approved. Well, actually, it went past the committee, and then I believe Trump ordered it. And so here we go. We're now tomorrow will be day 2, or actually day 3, because it started Saturday or Friday. Day 4 now, and nothing huge has come up. And it sounds like, what's his vote later this week. So hopefully we will get our Supreme Court justice in there like we want. The one that kind of sucks for Kavanaugh, other than getting his name dragged through the mud and his family getting threatened, is it sounds like protesters had gone to his house. So, word of caution, this is before he's confirmed. So once he is confirmed, be prepared, because the crazy leftists that are out there, the crazy groups like Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club, places like that, they are already talking about doing armed attacks, things like that. So make sure that you get your, make sure you're stocked up. Make sure you watch where you're at, and keep an eye on what's going on. It's something that we need to definitely pay attention to, especially coming up to November. November is going to be a very serious time in the nation because we have our elections coming up, and it's really going to make a difference on who ends up getting the Senate and the House. So if you're paying attention, you know how important the Senate and the House is, because if they end up getting it back, more than likely they're going to end up impeaching Trump. That's something we don't want to have happen. If they do impeach Trump, Pence steps up in there, I believe, and there's not a lot of stuff known about Pence. So, right now the country going in the direction it needs to go. I'd hate to see it slow down. I'd hate to see it stop. So people are going to work better than they have in a long time. Trump just signed the NAFTA deal. Well, the USMC, United States, Mexico, and Canada, something. I can't remember I know it's USMCA is the acronym, but it's going to basically, it's going to help out farmers. It's going to help out dairy folks. They're going to be able to share a little bit more with the Canada and stuff like that. So they waited till the deadline essentially before they decided to jump on, and but they got it done. And even as bad as I wanted this, even Schumer gave Trump praise on this one. So he didn't have much. I don't think he had much of a choice. He actually had voted against NAFTA to begin with, so he had to kind of come forward and say that, hey, you know what, this is a good job. So, if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you on that. But anyway, there you go. United States, Canada, and Mexico agreement. I guess that's what it stands for, or agreement or arrangement or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, Petey. So this November and this election could literally be one of the most serious elections in our lifetime. Yeah, I don't know how old everybody is. At least in my lifetime, it's one of the ones I remember, mainly because I've been following politics. And this one here is definitely something that we need to keep an eye on. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to check to make sure my feed is going okay. Anyway, it's something that we have to really pay attention to, because if we don't, like I said, they're already, trying to push violence on the masses. And if we're not paying attention to it, then, you're likely to walk into something you're not expecting. So, make sure around that time, even now, make sure you don't let your vehicle go below half a tank. Make sure you got money out of the bank if you have, some spare cash. Cash is king whenever something like this happens. So, and there's been a lot of other things going on throughout the country. What I'm kind of waiting for is I'm kind of waiting for the big distraction. That's the one thing that the Democrat Party seems to do very well, is they get something that goes against them, and in the process they end up hiding, or you end up not hearing much, and then all of a sudden something bang happens. Like today is the 1-year anniversary of the Vegas shooting. So anytime that they can pull off a distraction to keep us distracted, keep us away from what we want our goals are, they're going to try it. So, this whole thing could be just a giant distraction. I don't think that they keep him from being confirmed, but you never know. I believe that if Kavanaugh's not confirmed, then they will probably put the woman in there that the Democrats hate even as much or more than him. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I do know that she's probably worse or as good as he is. So with that said, give me a second here. Turn up my volume. I'm still trying to get used to the new studio setup, so give me a second here. I don't need all my stuff beeping at everybody while it's going on. Anyway, so with this new setup, I'm looking at doing a bunch of different things. I'm hoping that I'm looking at some new cameras, some new things to add in here. Right now all you get to see is the flag and me, and it looks pretty good. I would like to find a way to expand this a little bit more so that you can see a little bit more of the the studio, maybe come a little further back and get some microphones. They'll see me and still see my bench. I made a big long desk, obviously the show and all my interviews that I'm looking at doing. Also some reloading stuff. I've got my reloading bench out here. So this is going to be my command center. With that said, we have a lot of things that's going on. Feinstein is going to be, since they started this FBI investigation, Feinstein may be asking more than what she could expect. Right now, I believe she's being investigated for the leak that happened with this Forward's letter. It ended up in the press. It ended up all over the place, and that's how this whole stupid thing began. Now, I've heard a couple different things. I've read a couple different things that Pelosi had said on this thing and was waiting until right before he got confirmed. And if that's the case, that's shady. That's super shady. I hope they investigate her to the fullest. I hope they end up throwing her, at least. I don't know. The thing is if Feinstein ends up getting taken out, okay, look at what we got coming up behind her. Okay, we got what the hell's his name? The 30 magazine clip. That guy, he's just as bad, if not worse, because he's already got family here that's illegal. They've already, and he's admitted that they've stolen Social Security numbers off people. They've stolen identities. So, we're kind of in a catch-22 for this election that's coming up in November, because we have to vote on either Feinstein or this other idiot. And I can't even remember what De Leon, that's what his name is. We have to vote for one or the other. And, it's kind of at the point now where Feinstein is the lesser of the two evils. And unfortunately, we get what we get no matter who we vote for. But, we're asking for trouble in either way. De Leon is already broken the law. Feinstein, who knows if she's broken the law or not. She's sneaky with it, and she's been in there a long time, so people know her. But I will tell you this, that the Democratic National Committee has not endorsed her this year for her run. So I believe that Feinstein would probably be the lesser of the two evils. That, and she's old, and is liberal as she is, she still has some older qualities about her. De Leon got to make a decision one way or the other. So we got to do what we got to do. So here soon, let's see, what time is it? It's already 50. Wow, I've been talking for 15 minutes already. Here soon, I'm going to be working on a new project, and I'm going to be going out and trying to look for veterans to interview and give them a chance to, in their own words, be able to tell everybody what they went through while they were at war, while they were deployed, wherever they were. It could be Vietnam, it could be Korea, depending on their age. It could be Afghanistan, it could be, Iraqi Freedom, it could be Desert Storm. So I want to be able to give people an idea of what these folks went through in their own words and what happened once they returned home. Now, everybody knows that I run a group called 3% Nation, and we donated some money to Travis Mills Foundation, and we donated some money to Sonoma County Vet Connect. And I've reached out to Vet Connect today, at least one of their guys, and I'm waiting for a call back. But it sounds like I made another connect with somebody that's going to be putting on a dinner in October the 26th. I might be able to meet some of the other Sonoma County vets through that, and it'd be kind of a cool chance for me to sit down and talk to some actual real vets to get some different ideas, opinions, things like that. Not only on what they went through, but what it's like back home for them. Whether or not they support the president we have. There's a whole bunch of different things that I would like to get some insight of. So it's something that I think would be, what's changed since they went, that kind of stuff. And I think we need, there's the History Channel, things like that, but they always seem to interview, the generals and the people that were in charge. They never really seemed to go after the folks that were actually boots on the ground, the ones that were getting shot at, things like that. You never hear from the little guys. And I know for a fact, one of the guys that goes to the Sonoma County Vet Connect was involved somehow in the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. He was talking, I think it was his grandfather, but he's got all kinds of stories, and he was a vet as well. He's got all kinds of stories from what it was like after they dropped the bomb in Hiroshima. Basically, when it dropped, the plane was flying back, and when it went off, he was explaining to me that it was like everything went white. It was like a giant X-ray, which essentially is, that much radiation, even in an airplane, even that far away, that's what it's going to look like. I found that was pretty interesting. The fact that his grandfather had told him that story, and it might have been his dad, actually. If I think about it, he was an older guy, so I think it might have been his dad. But anyway, that's one of the projects I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to come up with a name for it. And I'm not sure which video platform I'm going to do it on. I don't know if I'm going to do it on Facebook or Patreon. Sounds like it's got a pretty good platform. But anyway, be looking forward to that. And, it's something that I want to be able to do, and hopefully, enlighten some of you on what they went through. Hopefully, make the connections that we all, as far as the Patriot movement goes, we all support our vets. We all try and help out when we can. And it'd be nice to be able to give them a voice to, at least enlighten us on what they went through. With the homeless population growing and growing and growing every year, and PTSD getting bigger and bigger, this may be a way that they can have an outlet to at least express what they went through. I know sometimes talking about things, it may be tough in some instances, but at the same time, it may be a relief because they may not have anyone to talk to that may understand what they went through. So be looking forward to that. That's something I think that I've been thinking about it for a while, and there's enough VFWs and elk lodges and places like that I'm sure that there's plenty of them that we can get a hold of and do what we got to do to get them heard. Okay, so I want to kind of cover a little bit on Hollywood hates the conservative movement. I say that, but there's a few that we have on our side, that like James Woods, and a few others that are, Second Amendment advocates, things like that. And they do support Trump, but there's a ton of Hollywood people out there that hate the conservative movement. They hate everything we stand for. They absolutely, hate. I think they hate America, period. I mean, I think they hate what it stands for. I know that they hate the Constitution, and they're always willing to change it. And here, a good example of that would be this last movie that just came out where Ryan Gosling's landing on the moon, and they don't want to show the American flag. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. I mean, there's nothing more American than the American flag. It's right behind me. I mean, I'm proud to fly that flag. I have a bunch of other flags that I'm proud to fly too, but that one right there is the one that this country's about. You can't ask for better representation of our country than the red, white, and blue. Nobody's got as iconic of a flag as we do, and it went through a lot of stuff before it became the symbol that we have now. It went through different changes. It went through different amounts of stars. It went through all kinds of different things. The original 13 colonies, it had 13 stars, and we're all the way up to 50. I mean, we've expanded so much in the last 270 years. It's crazy. So one of the things I want to cover is, you watch these TV shows, and I watch TV. I watch it to stay informed. I watch it to, get ideas, things like that. But a couple of the shows I've watched in the last 6 months or so, and we watch reruns. We don't watch the stuff that's new. But we've been watching Criminal Minds and NCIS, and they're both decent shows. They both investigative shows. One of them is it kind of covers military issues, which is NCIS, and then Criminal Minds, and they're FBI. Now, so the thing that bothers me about what Hollywood does is they take something, that's pretty, I don't know, something that people use to stand up and fight and have a voice, and they twist it. And I'll give you an example. Like on Criminal Minds the other night, we were watching a show and it came up and there was a militia involved in it, and they make us look like we're completely brain dead hillbilly hicks that were out to destroy the world, and we hate other people. They made it sound like we hate black folks and all this other stuff. That is the farthest from the truth that you can absolutely state. We want more color in our groups. We want as big of as a big amount of people, no matter who they are. If they're American citizens, join the groups. That's the thing. We don't discriminate. And unfortunately, you look at what Hollywood does to it, and it makes people shy away from the groups. This upcoming weekend, we're going to be going to a car show that's being put on by a motorcycle group called the Rip City Riders. Great group of guys. They're always willing to donate to veterans causes, much like Sonoma County Vet Connect, the Polyclass Foundation, which, if you don't know who that is, there's a young girl that was abducted here and killed in Petaluma. She's pretty famous here. Actually, her anniversary, I think, of that abduction was just either yesterday or today or something. It's right around this time. A guy had gone into her home during a sleepover and basically took her right out the window. And they found her. They convicted the guy. He's in jail. But essentially, what Hollywood does is they twist everything. So you take what Hollywood's doing, and like I said, they twist the militia. They twist anything that has a positive side to it. Now, most militia, and this is another thing that they do. They take the militia and they say that we hate the federal government. We don't want the feds intruding on our lives. Basically, the show that we were watching was a few girls had gone missing on the TV show, and I think it was in Idaho. I think is where they had to go. So they go up there, and this whole area, the way that they portray them, it's like they hate everything to do about the government. That's absolutely the opposite. They make it sound like they hate cops. That's completely opposite. It's one of those things where we have to flip the narrative. We have to go out and show that we are better than that. If we don't do that, then we deserve to get our butts kicked when the time comes. We have to go out and show the general public that we're better than that. And going to these car shows, going to these events, and setting up and showing what we're about. And we're planning on taking pictures and all kinds of different stuff with an album and all the different things that we've done with the United Patriots, 3% Nation, stuff like that. It is Dean, you only nuke people on Facebook. That's not illegal yet. It's getting closer. But anyway, yeah, we have to go out and we have to prove that we're the bigger people. And we want. I've talked to black folks. I've talked to Asian folks. I've talked to Hispanic folks. I've got no problem with any other American citizen in this planet. If they want to join a 2A group or a militia type group or a prepping group or whatever, more power to you, man. It's something that I think everybody needs to be prepared, because we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, and if we don't get prepared, we don't start making those connections, then we are going to be shit out of luck when November comes. So it's one of those things we just have to really pay attention to what's going on. What's going on, Justin? I see you watching there on YouTube, man. Hope my connection's okay. Hopefully it's not cutting out too bad. So, we got that going on. And I mentioned earlier that Trump is going to be doing an emergency broadcast on October the 3rd. I don't know what time it's going to be, but I do know it's going to be around 30 minutes long. And essentially, he's going to hijack your phone for 30 minutes, which, you know what? A message from the president, yay. We've never gotten one before. So it should be some kind of, I don't know if there's something else behind it, or, we got something else cooking. I don't know if there's something else going on, but it gives him a good reason to get out and actually meet folks and talk to people. Let's see. Get off of here real quick. I want to bring up someone on. Let's see if I can find it here. Give me a second. I got a laptop in front of me, so I'm going to see if I can pull this thing up. Let's see. Everything's still good on that end? Everybody hear me still? Everything's good volume-wise? Join a Patriot group. Exactly, Martha. Let's see here. We have another, let's see, pull it down here. Where's it at? Let's see. We've got another expo that's coming up, and I believe this one's in Virginia or West Virginia. I'm pulling it up right now. It looks like it's a Bullseye Expo. You can look it up at bullseyeexpo.com if you're out there. It's basically a preparedness expo, and they're actually sponsoring the Prepper Podcast Radio Network. So we try and plug them when we can. So this is my best. This is my best attempt at a commercial. So I'm trying to find out when this thing runs. It's a 3-day event focused on self-reliance, emergency preparedness, primitive skills, agriculture, and financial planning. Attendees will have the opportunity to show great deals on services, gear, and supplies from a variety of vendors and exhibitors. Learn new skills during presentations, classes, and demonstrations, and enter to win numerous prizes. It's called the Bullseye Preparedness and Outdoor Expo. And let's see, when's the dates? Show the dates. Check it out. Again, it's Bullseye Preparedness and Outdoor Expo, 3-day event. So check that out. If you get a chance to get out there, make sure you say hi to Dee. She's Dee Cooper. That is, I was reading, Angela. Come on now. I take my reading seriously. All right. So, we've gone and done a whole bunch of different things. We've talked about a lot of different stuff. I think it's about time that we hear from somebody that's listening. And one other thing too, if you guys want to listen to the show and not watch the live, feel free to get on there, and you can go to the link and listen to it there. Like if you're on your way home, you can go and listen to my show on the Prepper Podcast Radio Network. I always post a link the day that I do the show. So click on that. That way, if you're in there doing, cooking dinner, things like that, you can just turn it on your computer and just listen to it that way. That's how our shows are kind of ranked, is on that. So feel free to share my video, any of the things that we're doing. Hopefully here soon, like I said, I'll be doing the veterans interviews, things like that. And I got to come up with a catchy name for it. So, if you guys think you got a catchy name, make sure you hit me up. Might end up using it. So this October 6th, this weekend, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be out at here in Petaluma at the Chili Billy Cook-Off Car and Bike Show. We're going to be setting a booth with CVP. Dan's going to make his trip up here, and we're going to hang out all day long and check out some cool cars and get some good food and just hang out. There's no pressure to come out. It's a free show. You can come up and listen to some music, check out some really cool cars. It's one of the biggest ones in the area, and just chill out with us, it would be something that, I think it'll give us a chance to talk to the general public, maybe sell a t-shirt or so, or some patches, get some people out, other people on board that may not know about us, because not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody goes out and does the same stuff that we do, but I do live in a farming community. So I could see that there could be a lot more people. Yeah, I've already got some names popping up on here for the veterans thing. So thanks a bunch, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start taking phone calls and see how you guys are doing, and kind of wondering what's going on outside. It sounds like it's raining, so it sounds like we're finally getting some rain here in Sonoma County. We need it badly. So let's go ahead and start taking some phone calls. 845-241-9930 and dial a 1 after you're done. Again, it's 1-845-241-9930, and we'll take your call. Judy just posted it up there, so give me a call. I want to talk to some people. Looks like I don't have that many listeners. So, let's see if we can't get somebody on. Come on, folks, give me a call. You might end up getting a t-shirt out of the deal. So what do you think of the studio? Maybe I ought to give you guys kind of a tour, huh? You think I need to give you a tour of the studio? Is everything still working? Go ahead, off. Give me a thumbs up. I'm watching it on my my Facebook feed here. It looks like a shut off. Come on, give me a call. I got to test out my sound system, so give me a shout. Let me see if I can hear you. I'm good. Okay. All right. Someone give me a call, and let's chat a little bit. Whatever you want to talk about tonight. If you want to talk about this ridiculous thing that happened with Kavanaugh, feel free to do so. It's something that we're going to have to pay attention to what's going on in November, and maybe even before then. If he gets elected, don't be surprised if the left just goes absolutely apeshit. They've already talked so much stuff about what Kavanaugh represents that they're literally telling people that they're going to die if he gets in there. His response, I watched his rebuttal during the hearing, and it was fiery. It would be exactly what I would expect for somebody that's got his life on the line. And I can't say that I wouldn't be, at least if it was my life and it was my family, the life that was on the line. So I think he did a good job. I don't think it was overboard. I think hers, if anything, I watched some of the replays. I think that was pretty overboard. Let's go ahead and put Aaron through. Hello.
You there?
I'm here. What's happening?
Hey, Tank, what's happening?
No, not much.
Trying to kick things off.
Huh?
Just trying to kick things in for you as usual.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. How's things?
I like the new setup.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's coming along. I still got a little ways to go. I need to get a better camera, things like that. But it'll get there. I need to get me like a GoPro or something.
And a mic.
Well, yeah, I definitely need a mic. But if I get a GoPro, I can get a mic for that pretty easy.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem with the cell phone is you got to have a specific mic for the cell phone to be able to pick anything up.
Yeah, that's true.
So, how's things going, man? I know your dad just left us, and I'm so sorry about that. By the way.
He actually was just shipped from California to Utah today.
Oh, really? So when?
And he'll have He'll have a full military honors funeral on Friday in Utah,
Are you flying down there?
and they're going to. Yeah, they're gonna actually videotape the whole thing too.
Very cool.
I have friends who are really good at that, so they'll videotape the whole thing, and then I'm planning on doing a celebration of life coming up in a couple months. I have a lot of stuff dealing with, just with all his stuff and yada yada yada.
Right. Well, he's a good man.
So once I figure that, what was that? Sorry, Tank.
I said he was a good man. It's sorry to see him go, man. That's at least he's not going through any more pain.
No, he had 2 types of cancer, and he fought it to the very, very end.
Well, and he inspires a lot of guys. I mean, he inspired a lot of people. He's always at your events, and you couldn't tell that he was going through what he was going through. So that just kind of gives you a testament to who he was.
Yeah, no, he loved this country. He loved being a veteran. He loved all of our Patriot brothers and sisters. And I still, like I said, I want to do a celebration of life for him and all of our Patriot brothers and sisters coming up in a couple months.
All right, man. Well, send me over the video whenever you guys get it. It looks like I got a couple other callers on, but thanks a bunch for calling in, Aaron. As always, man. Good talking to you. And you got my number, so we can chat afterward if you need to.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care, guys.
All right, brother.
Next.
All right, let's go ahead and put Steve on. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Steve?
Hello?
I can hear you. Can
How
you
you
hear?
doing, Sherman?
I'm good.
First time, yeah, I can hear you. First time caller, long time listener, lifetime patriot.
Well, I knew you were the lifetime patriot, but no, I'm glad you called in. How you been?
Good, good.
Oh, I live in Sonoma County up here by San Francisco, so figure that one out.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting in 3-hour traffic in Southern California, so
Oh,
gotta love it.
yeah, I was down there a couple weeks ago. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's brutal. It used to be on the weekends you could go anywhere you wanted, but even on Saturday and Sunday, you gotta plan ahead because traffic by 10 a.m. you're locked into traffic. So
Yeah, I ran into it when they were taking me back to the airport.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to call and say congrats on the video. Looks good.
Thank
Love
you.
what you're doing. And then I just kind of wanted to touch on the the meet and greet we had at the Veterans Hall in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that coming up again in that area, or?
Well, I think I've talked to a couple different people, and I think the next one I do will probably be a little bit more central, a little bit further north, not up where I'm at, but a little further south. So I'm kind of thinking Central Coast. Okay. The thing is I had people that drove all the way down from Redding. That's almost a 10-hour drive down to Bakersfield. So I want to try and find something that's a little bit more in the middle, if possible. And, something also that's got good weather. And, the Central Coast has got pretty decent weather. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I was hoping I could do it for the November. I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Okay. So if I wanted to do something down here, what steps did you take to get that set up?
If you wanted to do something down there, well, the phone and figure something out.
Okay. Yeah, or I'll reach out to you then.
Yeah, hit me up on Messenger, and I'll send you my phone number, and we can chat.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
All right, man.
I have, so you can put a caller in there.
All right, brother. We got more on the lines, or got Martha calling in too. Okay, shoot me a message, and I'll hit you up.
Hello.
Martha,
Yes. Hey,
What?
hey, Tank. What's up?
what's happening?
Oh, long time listener, long time fan, long time caller. Good to talk to you again. I love the new set. I love the new studio. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot more room. A bit more of it. It's something I can work on. So I got definitely a lot more room to walk around.
I can't really hear it.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can't.
can't hear the echo, so you'll get used to it. Now
Okay.
you got room for guests.
I do actually. I've got my table is probably like 15 foot long, so I could turn the camera
Oh, good.
and
You
I
put
could
a
have.
panel up there.
I could. I just have to move the camera back so that everybody could fit in.
Well, I'll have to drive up there and look cute for your show one of these days. I'll do my best.
There you go.
I'll put on
Well,
some makeup and
you're going to be
it'll be
back.
great.
You're going to be up here this weekend, so if nothing else, we can live videos.
First thing I was going to say is that'll be cool. We will be there this weekend at the car show. Absolutely. That was the first thing that I wanted to say. I wanted to plug that for you. Everybody, please come. We got to represent that 3%ers are normal people. We're not racist rednecks. I'm not. I know I'm not, and I know you're not, and I haven't met anybody else that comes off that way at all. So I really like to get rid of this stigma,
Right.
so I can flash my sign, my 3% sign, without people thinking it's a racist hand gesture. Ridiculous. Anyway, yes, we'll be there. And then the second thing that my dad was a World War II veteran because my dad was older when he had me.
Right.
And so even though I'm still, incredibly young, my dad actually drove into World War II and actually flew him after they had dropped him, and he said that it actually made him cry because it was so devastating.
Wow.
And he was, very, very devastating. He was stationed mostly in Papua New Guinea and had some great stories about getting malaria and all sorts of different things. So I hope there'll be a lot of people in the hospital. He woke up one morning and both the people next to him were gone, and he was the one that survived. So that's one thing that happens when you're stationed in Papua New Guinea is you can get bitten by mosquitoes. But so I'm going to try to find his. He wrote a lot of journals and stuff in those so that I can share the stories with my kids, because World War II seems so long ago now. My dad was there. That's just one generation back,
Yeah, that's my dad was in the Navy, and it was after Hiroshima. He went in as it would have been like 46, I think, 46, 47, somewhere in there. And he actually was stationed at Pearl Harbor for a while, so he got a chance to see what happened to Pearl Harbor. So kind of the same type of thing that that your dad had seen, but he was stationed at Pearl Harbor, so he actually got to see the ships and everything that had been sunk, and the one that was still, the one the one that they made the memorial out of. So that was pretty powerful for him.
Yeah, I would like to see that someday as well. And then, the third thing, which I'm going to make real brief, because I'm just so tired of it getting attention, is this Kavanaugh thing and Dr. whatever her name is. I'm trying to blank her name out, but it's just so insulting that she's, and this is not the popular view, okay? I've posted a couple things like this in certain pages, but not on my main page on Facebook, because I get a lot of hate. But, I mean, come on, even if it's true, which I don't think it is,
approach over your business. There's children that are being sexed out. You're bitching because you over your business. It's really, it just gives women a bad name that she can't. And I don't want to sound insensitive, but I feel like it's suck it up and with their leg.
Well, you know, and
Somebody that. And only I'm allowed to say it because I'm human. If you said it, it's sound like a major ass, but I can say it. Okay, I'm just really tired of hearing from her and her topic something so dramatic. It's astounding to me.
well, and you know, Martha, I agree with you. And you know, what I would say to something like that is, you know, I would say something more along the lines of, you know, you think that they could have found somebody that was a little bit more intelligent. And I know that she's supposed to be a psychologist, but some of the things that this woman has said definitely goes against, you know, us thinking that she had any kind of brain cells left in her body. It's pretty evident that she drank pretty much most of her high school years, and you know, she partied. I mean, she partied harder than Kavanaugh ever thought about partying.
Yeah, I don't want to give really more attention to talking about it. Your voice just sounds a little distorted. I don't know if that's coming across on the radio or not, but the last thing that I wanted to say is something that's kind of rolling around in my mind that I would like to organize. They're having a women's march in San Jose. The annual women's march that they had last year. And with all that's been going on in the news, you know, it's probably going to be tons of women there talking about how they got groped over their bathing suits when they were 15. And I thought it would be fun to have a bunch of patriot women go to it with their conservative views and their conservative signs and their MAGA hats for that way. Probably get the other wear those. But if there's any women that are interested in going to this with me, I really hesitate to do it by myself. I'm president Nation page and on the 3W page. But I would like to get some brave women together to go to represent the patriotic spirit of America.
I agree. I think it looks like I'm starting to have some audio and some.
No, I hear you again now.
That's weird.
I can hear you now. I think it just cleared up.
Yeah.
But anyway, if anybody missed it, yeah, I think it's gone now.
That's weird. Yeah, I had Is
it working again?
Yeah, I can hear you clear now. There for a little bit, you were like cutting in and out, so it's weird.
All right, well, I will say it one more time real quick in case somebody missed it. Women's Rally, January 19th. There's one in San Jose, which is close to where I live. It's on all over the place, but I'm talking specifically about the one in San Jose. So my zone 4. I would like to get some women together to go to the rally, some patriot women, maybe have a different view than the other women there have, to wave their American flags. And, you know, this is a great country to be a woman in. This is a country where you can accuse somebody 35 years later. That's not the only thing, but some countries, they would just stone you to death and tell you to go back to the kitchen. This is a country where women can speak out, and we should all be happy that we live here instead of some poop hole where women are treated like property. So I would like to get some patriotic women out there with me. Yeah, right. I would like to get some patriotic women out there to, you know, show people that they should appreciate where they live, that we're American, that we're not victims, we're victors, we're warriors, we're strong, all that other stuff. And we love our country too, and we don't hate our president. And I think that's really cool. So like I said, I'm going to put that on your page, on the 3% Nation page. And if any women are interested in coming, we'll get together before, during, and after, and I think it'll be a good time.
Sounds good. And, you know, I know that there's several ladies that are up here that would definitely be willing to go to that. They may not be 3%ers. They may be MAGA, but they will definitely join in. And you guys can at least save the numbers.
Yes, all patriotic women are welcome.
So I'll make sure if you post
where your push at if you want.
Well, no, they can't do that no more because that's offensive now.
Flag. Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, now you know.
Wear your pink hat as long as you have a flag.
Because now women can have penises.
Yes, that's right. If we didn't live in America, we wouldn't be able to get those addictomies that we want. So that's a medical term, by the way. You don't have to. But anyway, somebody else wants a chance.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Martha,
All
for
right.
calling in, and we'll make
All
sure we
right.
share that around for you.
All right. Thanks, Shane. Bye-bye.
All right, and bye-bye. So that was Martha, and she had good information. It looks like there's going to be a women's march in San Jose, and she's going to share some stuff up. So we'll make sure we get that passed. It looks like it's going to be white, so maybe we can get some other folks out and represent the conservative movement as well, and at least give us a voice on that side. If anybody else wants to call in, Petey, how about you? You've never called me. I've never talked to you on the phone. Why don't you give me a shout, man? I'm always open for a conversation. Yeah, Steve, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, this whole thing with this Kavanaugh thing really put him in the spotlight, and I think it's a lot. I think it put a spotlight on him, and it really changed how his family is going to have where they're going to have to go. Hollywood celebrity hatred. People, or if they see his face, it's going to get ugly. He's going to have to be probably have security around him at all times. It's something that we're definitely going to have to. Everybody needs to put up prayers and everything for Kavanaugh. Whether you like his politics or not, what they've done to the guy is completely destroyed his life, and his family's life, and his kids' life. So he definitely needs prayers. It could happen to any of us, guys. It can happen to women too. Especially like the LGBTQ community. It happen to any of us. Literally, this is opening up Pandora's box, and it's asking. The stuff that's going on right now is all bad news. This Me Too movement, or whatever you want to call it. Personally, I'm more like him too, hashtag him too, and to back that up, then you need to keep your mouth shut. Hate to say that, but you got to have proof, man. This country was founded on innocent until proven guilty, and unfortunately, looks like I've got some good signal over here, so we'll continue to go on YouTube, and hopefully, Facebook will reconnect. It looks like my signal. I think the weather is probably affected a bit, so maybe next time I will have a little bit more this time. Hopefully not. I'll keep going on YouTube. I got about 5 minutes. So in closing, huge, folks. It's going to be huge for your gun rights. This will give, if he gets in, if Kavanaugh gets in here this week, and they start doing some stuff on the Second Amendment things, that's huge. We also need to make sure we pursue the back. Looks like I'm back on Facebook. Anyway, we need to pursue and push to make sure that we win in November, because if we don't, a lot of things are at stake. Not only keeps cutting out. It's one of the things we got to push. We can't sit on our laurels, which is exactly, the only reason that this country is not on better footing is because every time we get it close, a different party takes over, and it's like a big tug of war, right? So we go in this direction. The Democrats win, they go this direction. So now everything in the middle is just kind of stuck, or it starts, going one direction or the other. We got to stop that. We need consistent Republican or consistent conservative values in the White House, in Congress, in the Senate and the House. Because if we don't continue to have that, we're never going to get the agendas and stuff that we want passed. We're never going to keep jobs in this country, and get the stuff done that we want to do. So with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. It's 6:57, so I only had about 3 minutes left anyway. But, start paying attention, especially here this next week. I'm not sure on Kavanaugh and when they're going to put him in, but don't be surprised if Flake flakes. That guy's an idiot. He's got nothing to lose. He wants to run for president. So don't be surprised if he does not vote for Kavanaugh. He's pretty, he wins over anything that is,
90 seconds.
oh crap, that's loud. It looks like I got about 90 seconds left. So in closing, the concern, and sometimes we wait too long. So with that said, we need to get out there. We need to kick some ass. We need to get off our asses. We need to get out there and start, showing people and making them understand that we're done taking crap off people. And, if that has to be at rallies, if that has to be us kicking the crap out of Antifa
60 seconds.
on the other side of it, that's what we're going to have to do. So with that said, this is Sherman Tank. Make sure you vote conservative all the way up and down the tickets. If you're in California, I would vote Feinstein over De Leon. Keep that in mind if you're in the Petaluma area, Sonoma County. Exactly. Hashtag get off the couch. I started that a long time ago. I'm still surprised it's still going around. Hashtag get off the couch. Make sure you use it. All right, this is Tank, and I'm out. I love y'all. Carry on.